Welcome back, deep divers. You ready for today's deep dive?
Absolutely. Always up for a deep dive.
All right, so today we're going on a journey.
Ooh, I like journeys. Where are we headed?
We're going to explore the Amazon.
The rainforest.
Well, not exactly the rainforest, more like the empire. Think Jeff Bezos.
Ah, got it. From a tiny online bookstore to a global giant.
Exactly. We've got a great biography we're going to be using to dig into his story.
About 20 minutes long.
Yeah, should be a good overview.
Cool.
So by the end of this deep dive, we'll understand not just what he accomplished, the milestones, but also the how.
The how.
Yeah, the strategies, the decisions, the mindset that took him to the top.
Basically how to Bezos, right?
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll even find some inspiration for our own ventures along the way.
Okay, I'm ready.
So let's start at the very beginning.
Childhood.
Yeah. Little Jeff Bezos. We're talking garage days.
Garage days.
He wasn't just playing in there. He was like taking apart electronics, figuring out how things work.
Really? Like a little inventor.
Totally. Always curious, always tinkering.
I mean, that makes sense.
Kind of sets the stage, right?
Definitely. Building things, taking them apart. Got to start somewhere. But what I find really fascinating is that even in high school,
What?
he was already talking about space colonization.
Seriously?
Yeah.
In high school?
Apparently. Like, imagine being his classmate and hearing this kid in his valedictorian speech talking about colonizing space.
That's wild. I mean, talk about foreshadowing Blue Origin, right?
Totally. It's like that ambition, that drive was always there.
There wasn't just dreaming.
No, definitely not.
This guy went to Princeton.
Oh, of course. Had to be a smart cookie.
And he didn't just study like one thing.
Yeah.
He got 2 degrees, electrical engineering and computer science.
Double major. Wow.
And not just that.
What else?
Phi Beta Kappa.
Phi Beta Kappa.
It's like the super elite honor society. Only the very top students get in.
Okay. So yeah, brains weren't the issue. But okay, so he's super smart, got the degrees. But here's the thing. He didn't just jump into startups,
Right. He went to Wall Street first.
That's right. Wall Street.
Worked at Fattel, Bankers Trust, became a vice president.
Vice president.
Yeah, like super fast.
Climb the ladder quickly.
Then D.E. Shaw.
D.E. Shaw, huh?
This is where things get interesting.
Why? What was it?
A quantitative hedge fund.
A quantitative what now?
So they were basically using data and algorithms to make investment decisions.
Kind of like way ahead of their time.
Right. This was like the early days of using data to drive decisions. Kind of foreshadows Amazon's whole approach,
Data-driven everything. Makes sense.
Oh, and guess what?
What?
This is where he met Mackenzie.
His future wife.
Yep, who played a key role in the early days of Amazon.
So it's like all the pieces are starting to come together.
Totally. Okay, so it's 1994. Picture this. Bezos. Successful, Wall Street, making good money.
Living the dream.
Then, boom, he decides to quit.
Quit.
Yeah.
Walk away from all that.
Yeah. To start an online bookstore.
An online what?
Bookstore.
In 1994. That's bold.
Right. Like, most people hadn't even heard of the internet back then.
I mean, dial-up was still a thing.
Exactly. So why do you think he took that leap?
I mean, he must have seen something that others didn't.
He saw the future, right? The potential of this whole new world.
He had that ambition, that vision. Remember the high school speech?
It's all connected.
Yeah.
So he quits his job, packs up, moves to Seattle.
Whoa.
Yeah, and starts Amazon.
In Seattle.
Out of his garage.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Like the classic startup story.
Classic. Him and Mackenzie packing books.
Packing books in a garage. Wow.
Humble beginnings. And they almost called it Cadabra.
Cadabra. Like abracadabra.
Yeah, but they changed it to Amazon.
Amazon. I mean, that's a way better name.
It's like vast, powerful.
Yeah.
Bezos wanted a name that reflected his vision.
And it worked.
Oh, yeah. They were making $20,000 a week in sales within a few months.
No way.
Yeah, but here's the key. Instead of pocketing the profits, Bezos kept reinvesting, expanding.
Growth over everything.
Exactly. Always looking ahead, always thinking bigger.
Smart. So he's got the online bookstore going. It's booming.
Yeah.
What's next?
Well, he's thinking about how to really change the game, how to make the online shopping experience even better. And he comes up with Amazon Prime.
Prime? Like?
2005. Think about it. Back then, fast shipping wasn't really a thing.
Oh, yeah. Everything took forever.
And Bezos makes it like the core of Prime. Fast, free shipping.
So he's like setting a new standard.
Totally. And customers loved it.
It's genius.
But you know what else is genius?
What?
AWS.
Amazon Web Services.
You know what that is?
Honestly, Not really.
So basically, it's like renting out computing power and storage to businesses.
Like the cloud.
Yeah, cloud computing. It wasn't their main focus at first, but Bezos saw the potential.
Yeah.
It exploded. AWS became this massive thing.
So he's got e-commerce, cloud computing. Is there anything this guy doesn't do?
Well, there's one more thing. Space. Space.
Remember that high school speech?
That wasn't just a dream. In the middle of the dot-com bubble bursting, Bezos starts Blue Origin.
2000.
Yep. He's still got his sights set on the stars.
Incredible. Okay, we've got to unpack all that next time.
Yeah, we've only scratched the surface. Join us next time as we go even deeper into the world of Jeff Bezos.
It's wild, right? Like he was building this massive internet infrastructure while everyone else was still figuring out how to use email.
Right. I mean, talk about vision.
Total visionary. So we've got Amazon booming, AWS quietly taking over the internet. But there's that other thing.
The space thing.
The space thing. Blue Origin, remember that high school speech?
Yeah, the colonizing space thing.
That was not just a kid with a wild idea. He actually went for it.
So Blue Origin, what's the deal there?
Okay, so picture this. It's 2000. .com bubbles bursting. Everyone's freaking out.
Yeah, chaos.
And Bezos just casually starts a space company.
Seriously, in the middle of all that. Like it's no big deal. That's Blue Origin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's their whole, mission? What are they trying to do?
It's not just about launching rockets. It's bigger than that.
Bigger. How?
Bezos wants to make space accessible, not just for astronauts, for everyone.
For everyone. Like space tourism.
Yeah, and more. Think like living and working in space.
Whoa. Okay, that's ambitious.
That's Bezos. Ambitious doesn't even cover it. So they've got this rocket, New Shepard.
Goose Shepherd.
It's designed for space tourism, and get this, it's reusable.
Reusable. Like you can fly it multiple times.
Yep. Huge deal for lowering the cost of space travel.
Makes sense. But has it actually flown?
Oh, yeah. First successful test flight was back in 2015.
Okay, so it works.
It works. And then in 2021, guess what?
Bezos went to space.
He went to space on New Shepard.
Wow, so he's not just talking the talk.
He put his money where his mouth is. And he didn't go alone. Took his brother, Mark.
That's pretty cool, taking your brother to space.
So Blue Origin, they're building rockets, taking people to space, but their ultimate goal, it's huge.
Billions living and working in space, right?
That's the dream. It's bold, it's crazy, but Bezos seems to think it's possible.
Well, he's made a few impossible things happen already.
That's true. But, okay, let's be real for a second.
What do you mean?
All this success, all this innovation, it doesn't come without its critics.
Oh, yeah. There's always another side to the story.
Exactly. So when we talk about Bezos, we got to talk about the criticisms, too.
Right, the whole picture.
So one of the big ones is Amazon's treatment of workers.
Treatment of workers, what do you mean?
There have been concerns about working conditions, pay, pressure to meet targets.
Like in the warehouses?
Yeah, the fulfillment centers. There have been reports of injuries, people feeling overworked, especially during the pandemic.
Right, with everyone ordering online.
Exactly. So some people argue that Amazon isn't doing enough to protect its workers.
What does Amazon say about that?
They've said they're investing in safety, improving pay and benefits.
So they're trying to address it.
Yeah, but some people say it's not enough. They want stronger unions, better conditions, more focus on worker well-being.
So it's a complex issue.
It is. It's about finding that balance between efficiency, growth, and taking care of the people who make it all happen.
And then there's the taxes thing.
Right. Amazon has been criticized for not paying enough taxes.
Even though they make a ton of money.
Yeah. They've used legal strategies to minimize their tax burden.
So they're not breaking any laws.
Not necessarily. But some people say it's morally questionable.
Why?
Because they're making huge profits, but not contributing as much as they could to public services, things like education, healthcare.
So it's about fairness.
Yeah, about whether these giant corporations are paying their fair share.
And what does Amazon say about that?
They say they follow the tax laws, that they invest in jobs, infrastructure.
So they're arguing that they're contributing in other ways.
Right. It's a debate about the role of corporations in society, about how much they should be contributing to the common good.
Definitely a tricky one.
And then, of course, there's the environmental impact.
Oh, yeah, with all the shipping, the packaging.
It's a lot. And then there's Blue Origin. Rocket launches have a big environmental footprint.
So it's kind of a paradox, right? Wanting to save the planet, but also launching rockets into space.
Yeah, some people criticize Bezos for that. They say he's not doing enough to address climate change.
What does Amazon say about that?
They've pledged to be carbon neutral, to invest in renewable energy, electric vehicles.
So they're making efforts.
They are, But some people say it's not enough, that they need to do more, faster.
And Blue Origin.
They emphasize their reusable rockets, which reduces the impact compared to traditional rockets.
That makes sense.
But even with reusable rockets, space travel still has an impact.
Right. It's a tough one. How do you balance the excitement of space exploration with the need to protect our planet?
Yeah, it's a question we're going to have to grapple with as we move towards the spacefaring future.
So we've got these amazing achievements, these revolutionary ideas, but also these big questions about the impact, the downsides.
It's like a microcosm of our times, right? This tension between progress and responsibility.
Bezos embodies that, in a way. This incredible ambition, drive to innovate, but also the consequences that come with it.
It's a reminder that we can't just blindly celebrate success. We have to be critical, to think about the bigger picture.
Yeah, to hold these powerful people and companies accountable.
It's not about demonizing success, but about making sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few.
It's about creating a future that's sustainable, equitable, and just.
And that's something we all have a role to play in. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground.
From garage to galaxies, right?
It's been a wild ride through the world of Jeff Bezos.
A lot to unpack.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I think it's time to talk about legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah. What's the lasting impact of this guy who took us from buying books online to, like, the possibility of living in space?
It's a big question.
I mean, where do you even begin?
So many different areas he's touched.
Well, let's start with the obvious. E-commerce. Amazon.
Changed the way we shop, that's for sure.
Forever. It's like woven into our lives now. One-click ordering, next-day delivery.
He didn't just adapt to the internet, he, created the rules.
The Amazon model, it became the standard for everyone else.
And it's not just about convenience.
That's about access.
Yeah.
Amazon made it possible to buy pretty much anything, anywhere.
Products from all over the world delivered to your doorstep.
And then there's AWS.
Ah, yeah, the cloud.
It's kind of easy to forget about it because it's not as flashy as rockets or drones.
But it's huge.
It's the backbone of the internet. So many websites, apps, services, they all run on AWS.
It's like the foundation of the digital world.
And it all started with Bezos seeing the potential of this side project.
It's mind-blowing.
And then, of course, there's Blue Origin.
His passion project.
The space dream.
It shows his commitment to this long-term vision, right?
That humanity's future is out there, beyond Earth.
He's not just a billionaire playing astronaut.
He's investing in making space travel more affordable, more accessible.
So that one day, maybe, millions of people can live and work in space.
It's a wild idea.
It is. But it's also inspiring. It rekindles that sense of wonder about the universe.
And even if they don't achieve all their goals, they're pushing boundaries.
Inspiring a new generation of, space entrepreneurs, engineers, dreamers.
So yeah, Bezos' legacy, it's pretty complex.
It is. E-commerce, cloud computing, space exploration.
But we also have to remember the other side of things.
The criticisms, the controversies.
The worker treatment, the environmental impact, the questions about corporate power.
It's a reminder that even the most brilliant minds, the most innovative ideas, can have unintended consequences.
And as we move forward, we have to be mindful of that.
We have to have these conversations, these debates.
About how to make progress that benefits everyone, not just a few.
About holding those in power accountable.
Ultimately, Bezos' story is a reflection of our own choices.
Our values, our priorities.
What kind of future do we want to build?
That's the question we should all be asking ourselves.
And on that note, I think we've reached the end of our deep dive.
Wow. Time flies when you're exploring the Amazon, even metaphorically.
Thanks for joining us on this journey.
It's been fascinating.
We hope you learned something new, maybe even challenge some of your assumptions.
And who knows, maybe you're feeling a little inspired to go out and build your own empire.
Or maybe just order something from Amazon.
Maybe both.
Thanks for listening, Deep Divers. Until next time.